What is up, everybody? Striker92 here. Uh, this is gonna be a Kobe Bryant remembrance video. Uh, but before that, I'm gonna talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame for a minute, just because that was what my original video last week that I planned to do this week was gonna be about. Larry Walker and Derek Jeter got in. A couple other players got in with the Veterans Committee vote, and the Veterans Committee vote was garbage. Dave Parker and Dale Murphy got robbed, and I really think they both should be in the Hall of Fame. Derek Jeter wasn't unanimous, which that doesn't bother me. I'm not a Yankee hater. I did like Derek Jeter as a player, but at the same time, I feel like there were players like King Griffey Jr., Chipper Jones, and in earlier years, Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron, uh, Willie Mays, just a bunch of players from earlier eras that should have been 100% players and they weren't. So if they didn't get it, then in my opinion, Jeter really didn't deserve it over everybody else. My opinion, King Griffey Jr. would have had more home runs and would be the all-time home run king had he not been injured so often in his later career. But the real topic of this video is the death of Kobe Bryant. And I will go on record saying that Kobe Bryant was never my favorite NBA player, but at the same time, he was definitely in my top 10 favorite players. But, I grew up watching Vince Carter a little more just because the teams he played for were on TV a little bit more. I mean, the Lakers were on TV a lot too, but when I was a kid, the Lakers were on TV at 10 o'clock at night, and I live on the East Coast. So I didn't really get to watch Kobe Bryant until I was a little bit older. But there's no doubt about it that my generation lost our Michael Jordan, and to lose him in such a tragic, horrific way has really made me think a lot about a lot of things in my life and to be better, be a better person. Because everything I've read about Kobe is that he loved his family. He loved the people who were important to him. He had just texted one of Shaq's sons right before the tragic helicopter crash that claimed his and his daughter and 7 other lives. And and the reason he had gotten a helicopter was to spend more time with his family, because he had gotten tired of sitting in LA traffic to get home, and that he realized he was wasting valuable family time he could have had. And that's the whole reason he got a helicopter, and he started flying in the helicopter. This tragedy has affected the NBA, and the NBA has lost an icon. Again, my generation lost our Michael Jordan, and it's affected everybody that I know. People who I would never have thought were like, oh my gosh, Kobe Bryant just died, like my grandma or old ladies in church. Like, legitimately people who I thought would never talk about Kobe Bryant were like, this can't be real. And that's what I thought at the beginning, was it wasn't real. Kobe was a big fan of Trae Young, who plays for my Atlanta Hawks, my favorite team, even though they're not a good team. But one of his good friends from his playing days, and they played together against each other since they were teenagers, and that's Vince Carter. And reading what Vince Carter had to say on Twitter and on Instagram about how they had just seen each other a couple weeks ago when Atlanta was in Los Angeles, and they had talked about about what retirement was going to bring for Vince, and how they were sharing stories about how to be better parents, and you're going to love spending more time with your girls and your kids and stuff like that. That hits me like on such a level, and it's just so hard to fathom that we lost a legend like that. And just the way he died is so tragic. And everybody knows I'm a video gamer. Kobe Bryant's NBA court and NBA court. Kobe Bryant and NBA courtside. NBA courtside 2 featuring Kobe Bryant. There's also NBA courtside 2002 on the Nintendo GameCube. All 3 games that Kobe was a star of. Uh, you know, he had 3 video games. Kobe Jr. had 5 in total, I think, but one of those was just a spin-off version of an earlier game that was on the Super Nintendo. They put it on the Game Boy. But Kobe was also in Kobe Jr. Slugfest on the Nintendo 64 as a shortstop for the Nintendo team. A little interesting tidbit there. Playing those games was something in my childhood that me and my brother would do. And me and him, we actually got that game, the first courtside, along with the first King Griffey Jr. game for the Nintendo 64. And I remember vividly playing those games a lot those first 2 or 3 days that we had the games, and how we'd switch them back and forth. And, we're going to be the Lakers, or, then we're going to play this baseball game, or whatever. Which is, sports is a big part of my life, and a big part of the life of me, my brother, and my dad. And just the amount that this tragedy has hit me, I can't begin to fathom how his family's feeling, and the family of the others are feeling about what has gone on. And my deepest condolences and heartfelt prayers continue to go out to them, because I would not want to be going through what they're going through. I can never imagine not only losing my dad, but losing a sibling as well. It's unfathomable, and I hope I never have to go through something like that. And I'm just at a loss for words about, the fact that Kobe's family is having to go through with that, and just the amount of loss I felt for somebody that I didn't even, I never even met. I mean, I know Kobe, but I know Kobe because he played basketball and he was on TV, and he would go on Jimmy Fallon and go on Jimmy Kimmel and was on some Nickelodeon shows back in the 90s because he was Kobe Bryant and he was a huge star. I mean, in one aspect, I'm kind of mad at the Charlotte Hornets because it's like, you had Kobe Bryant, you traded him. Why? I mean, there's a lot of things that would be different in the NBA landscape had the Charlotte Hornets not traded Kobe Bryant to the Lakers. But Kobe Bryant became a huge star in LA. I mean, he was my generation's Magic Johnson in a way, because he was the face of the Lakers for 20 years. And I mean, who can say that they were the face of the Lakers for over 20 years? So, seeing Shaq on TNT a couple nights ago was just heartbreaking, man, because it's like, you just knew how hurt he was and what he was going through. And again, my heartfelt prayers and condolences go out to Kobe's family and the family of the others that tragically perished in that accident. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for inspiring me. And I always wanted to be, as a basketball player, be Vince Carter. I can't dunk. Kobe was a good dunker. I can't dunk, but I'm a decent basketball player, and I try to sometimes model my game after those two. And thank you for inspiring me not only to be a good basketball player, but to be a better person off the basketball court. Godspeed, Mamba. Rest in peace.